I mean, we've already spoken about it a little bit earlier on in terms of the inconsistency of, say, a Newcastle, bear in mind what happened yesterday. But just in general, this whole season just feels bizarre in that, a team can lose like Brentford did in midweek and then come out and win emphatically like they did against Newcastle. We're just seeing all these crazy results. You can't predict many of these games at the moment.
Well, you can predict Southampton.
Well, okay. All right, maybe that was a bad example.
No, it's not. You are right. It's been a bit topsy-turvy, especially teams that are sort of from fourth downwards up until you can go probably mid-table. There's been a lot of strange results. One thing's pretty clear to me is that I don't even have to watch Southampton to know what's going to happen in the game. Honestly. And that's a flaw. No, I've never been a manager, and Russell Martin has. And he's obviously done a good job to get where he is now, from Swansea to Southampton, but I'm sorry, I don't even have to watch him to know. I saw the highlights, but I hadn't seen the game. Yeah. But I was thinking, I wonder what's going to happen in the highlights. Am I going to see the goalkeeper try and overplay? Whoever goalkeeper it was Lumley again yesterday, trying to play from the 6-yard box into a midfielder or a player that's going to receive the ball in a terrible area, and they get away with it. Okay, they do, or it ends up in the back of the net. How many? I said to you just now, I wanted to ask you because I wasn't sure. Because I'm thinking in my head, I bet there weren't many shots from Southampton either, and you said none.
Emi Martinez did not have to make a save, and they had 0 shots on target, 0 shots off target.
Yeah. See, and I said this last week, I said they should have got something against Liverpool, and they probably could have got something yesterday if they don't give the game away. They're giving presents, and that's Christmas time, but they've been Christmas since the start of the season, Southampton, and I don't get it. Sheffield United had a dreadful record last year, and Paul Heckingbottom lost his job. And they were conceding goals and alarm. I think they ended up with 104 against last season.
That's right.
Which was a lot of goals. Then obviously Chrissy Wilder goes in, and no Chris. And I knew one of the challenges that he was made it clear, they had to be way harder to beat. Because he wasn't happy how easy that Sheffield United were conceding goals last year. Now, Russell Martin's got to adapt. He's got to change. Even if it means don't take in risks. See what happens with results. How about that as an idea? You say, let's see what happens if we don't play out from the back and we don't give things away. Can we get a result out of a game?
Well, you go back a few months ago. I remember when they were struggling to score. And I remember him saying, once we get that goal, that'll bring confidence back into the team. Then they did score, but they couldn't really get any results. Then they beat Everton. It was all about getting that first win on the board. Once we get that first win, confidence will be back into this side. They beat Everton, but they haven't been able to capitalise on it. And that's because a lot of it is down to errors that they're making leading to goals. And like you say, and I get it, there's no... Look, I do understand he wants to play a style. I do understand that. But like you say, when you are making those errors... and the goal that came yesterday didn't really come about from a massive error. Yeah, there's a bit of a defensive mix-up, I think, between Taylor Harwood-Bellis and Nathan Wood. But still, ultimately, at some point you've got to say maybe we do need to just mix it up a little bit if we want to save ourselves from where we're in right now.
Well, it's about getting points on the board as well. I would say I've seen them enough times this year to say that they could have easily had 5 more points, 6 more points. Easily. And I know it's not about taking chances. It's more about the consistency of the errors that are happening when they play.
Again, forgive me for bringing up my team, but the game that we beat them at home, I think all 3 of our goals came from our high press and forcing errors from them, and quick turnover of the ball, and in the back of the net it went.
I think it's so basically obvious. And I say sometimes because I applaud ideas, and you're thinking how you want to play. Okay, that's admirable. But when it's costing your team, and your team are definitely going to go down, and supporters are watching it and thinking, well, to a degree, we have to do something different, slightly different. It doesn't mean you have to go from this to this and go start smashing the ball down the middle.
You can mix it up within a game.
Absolutely, just don't keep giving mistakes.
Yeah.
And how many times it's been involving a goalkeeper? It's not just defenders; it's goalkeepers that are making the mistakes.
Yeah.
And they've been getting away with them as well.
So as I say, Southampton rooted to the bottom. They're 8 points now from safety as a result of that 12th defeat. It was John Duran's first league start for Aston Villa, scoring his that winning goal, his first goal for over a month. I think it's his first Premier League goal for over 2.5 months, where we used to talk about him being that wonderful super sub. That went through a little bit of a bad run of form, is what I'm trying to say. But for him to start that game, obviously they're looking ahead to RB Leipzig in the Champions League. That's to come this week. But he's not yet convinced, maybe Unai Emery, that he should be that certain starter, do you think?
Well, he's going to get opportunities because of the amount of games they got between now and Christmas and Champions League included. Yeah. I don't see anybody dropped. I didn't see it as Ollie Watkins were being dropped yesterday. I saw it as we got too many games. Certain people are going to play in different matches. And your opportunity, Duran or Ollie, whoever, you're going to get chances to play and score goals. So I mean, Villa needed that sort of victory yesterday, because they have been on a difficult run, and and Duran is a capable forward because he's very direct and can finish. The 1-on-1 he had yesterday is a typical goal scorer's type of goal.
It's a clean sheet, just the second clean sheet actually for Aston Villa this season, but it's a win that puts them in 6th in the table, with obviously after Forest winning, which we'll talk about a little bit later on, at Manchester United. It's Nuno Espirito Santo's Forest that go above them in the table, but a good win nonetheless for them in the end.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.